Young love can sometimes be the most wonderful thing in the world and the most devastating. So you might want to rethink your thoughts about getting married at a young age. Hi, I'm Stacey Taylor and today I'm counting down the top 10 celebrities who got married way too young. So what age do you think is way too young to get married, and let us know in the comments below. Starting off our list today at number 10, we have Millie Bobby Brown. Millie Bobby Brown has just revealed that she is now engaged to her boyfriend that she has been in a relationship with for 2.5 years, Jake Bon Jovi. The Stranger Things actress, who is 19, announced the news earlier Tuesday alongside Jake, who is the son of legendary singer Jon Bon Jovi. Showing off her glimmering rock with a monochrome picture, the teenage star beamed from ear to ear while in the arms of her new fiance. When she went on to caption her post by saying, "I've loved you 3 summers now, honey, I want them all." Jake also shared an announcement post on his own page, simply writing "forever" alongside 2 snaps of the couple. The announcement would confirm some speculation that's been circulating online for the last couple of weeks after Millie was seen flashing a glimpse of the ring in her recent post. With the two connecting on Instagram and becoming friends through the platform before they started dating, it still has a lot of people questioning how appropriate their relationship really is. Number 9, Kim Kardashian. Kim Kardashian's marriages have always been pretty controversial, especially to her first husband, Damon Thomas. And this is probably because the star admitted that she was under the influence when she made the decision to marry the music producer, when she was just 19 years old. With the star admitting on an episode of Keeping Up with the Kardashians that she made some pretty bad decisions in the past due to her substance use, she would elaborate on her use to her younger sister Kendall Jenner and the father of her sister Kourtney Kardashian's children, Scott Disick. When she said, "I did it once and got married, I did it again and made an X-rated tape," like everything bad would happen. However, the most disturbing part is the fact that Damon was 30 when he married Kim at the age of 19. Kim would eventually divorce the music producer, citing physical and emotional trauma on Thomas's part, and they would separate in 2003. Hey my little peaches, are you liking this video so far? If so, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel so you never have to miss out on what we might just cover next. Coming back to our list, in the number 8 spot, we have Drew Barrymore. You know what's funnier than a 72-day marriage, a 19-day one, but lucky for Drew, no one actually seems to talk about it. Drew's transformation from a child star to a credible actress may have been a long process, but she got there in the end somewhat unscathed. However, one thing that didn't come out of her troubled past unscathed was her love life, as the actress has been married 3 times in such a short amount of time. With her mother encouraging her at a young age to have a typical celebrity life, attending parties even though she was only 10. She was always accompanying her mother to nightclubs, and by the age of 10 she even turned to alcohol and substances to cope with all of her trauma. By the age of 19, Drew would meet Jerry Thomas, who was 31 years old at the time, after she walked into a bar he owned, with the two separating just 19 days after. Drew would then go on to get married 2 more times, and after both those times Drew would finally vow off dating, until last year when she revealed after 6 years of not dating she was finally dating again. Number 7, Hailey Bieber. So I think we can all agree Hailey and Justin Bieber got married not only way too young but also way too fast, and that's probably why we see the couple struggling from time to time to cope with the problems that are surrounding their marriage. With Hailey opening up about reflecting on her decision to marry Justin Bieber when she was only 21 years old back in 2021, she would then tell Insider, "I was married when I was 21, 2 months before I turned 22, which is insanely young. Sounds almost ridiculous when you say it out loud. Although I do think for somebody like me and somebody like Justin, it's different. We've seen a lot for our age. We both lived enough life to know that's what we wanted." But are we really sure this is exactly what Justin wanted? Because we all know Hailey wanted to marry him since she was an obsessed fan, forcing her parents to introduce her to the star. With Hailey admitting that she had a desire to settle down early as a result of her parents' story, Justin has even gone on to admit that her parents definitely arranged his marriage now that he thinks about it. Coming at number 6, we have Aaliyah. Just 2 years after Aaliyah signed a record deal with her uncle in Detroit when she was just 12 years old, she teamed up with R. Kelly to make her first record, Age Ain't Nothing But a Number. Not long after Aaliyah and Kelly entered into a relationship, by the time Aaliyah turned 15 years old, and she would remarry Kelly, who was 27 at the time, as a scheme he hatched to protect himself as he feared that he impregnated her. When her parents discovered their marriage, they would quickly have it annulled, but the scandal went on to tarnish Aaliyah's reputation reputation more than Kelly's, as no one really considered her to be one of Kelly's first victims. In 2019, Kelly would also face charges with scheming with others to pay for a fake ID for an unnamed female a day before he married Aaliyah. And the revised indictment accused Kelly of paying a bribe in exchange for a fraudulent identification for someone identified only as Jane Doe on August 30th, 1994. A day later, Kelly married Aaliyah in a secret ceremony that he arranged in a hotel in Chicago. At the time, the U.S. Attorney's Office declined to comment about whom the ID was meant for, and the indictment didn't mention the wedding, but a person familiar with the investigation would confirm the Jane Doe was Aaliyah. However, that still didn't stop Kelly and his attorneys from maintaining the idea that he was unaware of Aaliyah's age when they were married, and the license he gave her for the wedding said that she was 18. Number 5. Marilyn Monroe. It's clear that Marilyn Monroe lived a really tough life. As many fans of Marilyn know, she did not grow up with her parents, as her mother Gladys Pearl Baker was not prepared to raise a child. With her mother later being diagnosed with paranoid schizophrenia, as a result, she had to give Marilyn to a foster family. Marilyn would then go on to be raised in numerous foster homes and orphanages, and eventually she lived in the home of her mother's friend's house, Grace Goddard, and her husband, Irwin Doc Goddard. During high school, however, in 1942, right as Marilyn was turning 16, Doc's job relocated him out of the state, and due to California's protection laws, he wouldn't be able to bring Monroe along with him. This would then force her to go back to the orphanage. As a result, Marilyn would then settle by marrying her neighbor, James Doherty, who was 21 years old, so she could avoid being sent back to the orphanage. Monroe then dropped out of school to become a housewife. James later enlisted in the Marines, and the couple would finally divorce by 1946. And coming in number 4, we have Milla Jovovich. In the early 90s, Milla Jovovich was in a hurry to grow up. The model and actress got her big break in movies in 1993 when she landed a role in a cult comedy classic called Dazed and Confused. Years later, she told the Daily Mail that the flick also marked a big break in her love life because she decided to elope with her co-star and boyfriend Shawn Andrews, who was only 21 years old. With the two getting hitched in Las Vegas when Milla was only 16 years old, the Residence Evil star would later reveal she wasn't even into actors and she just did it to prove a point to her mom and to score a bank card. Later, Milla would even open up about her relationship when she said, "I was a big girl as far as I was concerned, and I wanted to establish myself as an adult. And I was working like one and being treated like one by everyone else. It wasn't about being in love." The pair then went on to get married in secret in 1992, and just 2 months later, according to the director of Dazed and Confused, he would state he believed that the marriage ended after Milla's mother had it annulled. Number 3. Courtney Stodden. Back in 2022, Courtney Stodden would speak out about being married to actor Doug Hutchinson when they were 16 and Doug was 51 by saying they were exploited. Courtney, who uses the pronouns they them, would go on to say they exchanged vows with Doug in Las Vegas back in 2011 with parental consent, as Nevada's law at the time stated those under 18 could get married but only with parental consent. And with there being no minimum limit in the state at the time, parental consent and a judge sign-off was required for anyone under the age of 16. Recounting the experience when they appeared on an episode of the Call Her Daddy podcast, Courtney, who's divorced from the Lost actor that was finalized in 2022, told the host that their relationship actually started over email and things quickly progressed. Doug then went on to convince Courtney's parents that the pair should get married in 1 week after they all met in person. When Courtney went on to speak about her mother, they would highlight that their mother was receiving a lot of hate and they could understand why, because it was wrong for their mom to sign them away to a man who was 34 years older than them. With nothing preparing them for the life they had entered into, they just wanted people to know that the relationship wasn't okay, and someone should have realized that she wasn't mature enough to make her own decisions. Number 2. Demi Moore. Demi Moore's first marriage was to musician Freddie Moore when the actress was just 17 years old, with Demi giving fans an inside look of her 3 marriages in her memoir Inside Out. In the book, she would recall her and Freddie's marriage, which only lasted until 1984. before, with Demi admitting that she was very unfaithful to the musician who was 29, especially on the night before they were set to say I do. She would go on to say, "The night before we got married, instead of working on my videos, I was calling a guy I'd met on a movie set. I snuck out of my own bachelorette party and went to his apartment." Demi then went on to note that the reason she did this was because she was having doubts and she couldn't face the fact that she was actually getting married because she was trying to distract herself from grieving the passing of her father. Because she felt like there was no room to question what was really in motion, she felt like the only way she could get out of her marriage was to sabotage it. Eventually the two went on to get a divorce, and Demi would keep her married name as her stage name. And coming in at number 1 today, we have Bindi Irwin. Bindi Irwin and Chandler Powell have a movie-worth romance. With the pair meeting as teenagers in late 2013, they stayed in touch for a couple of years before they became an official couple in 2015. Chandler would then move to Australia to be with Bindi, and later he would ask her to marry him in 2019. The couple then finally got married the following year when she was 21 and he was 23, and then by 2021 they would welcome their daughter Grace. Bindi, alongside her brother and mom, have continued working for her late father Steve Irwin, who is known most for his stage name The Crocodile Hunter. For years, Steve traveled across the globe to protect animals and help preserve the environment before his passing. Now Bindi does the work with her own family, and even Chandler has become equally passionate about the wildlife, and they have been showing their daughter how to have passion for it as well. With the couple meeting in the Australia Zoo to go on to welcome their daughter and allowing her to grow up in her grandfather's legacy, I think when it comes to this marriage, Steve Irwin would be extremely proud. Well, that's it for this video, my little peaches, and until the next one, remember to stay juicy.